Because this is a class in modern music appreciation, we're going to jump to the transition from the classical to the Romantic period with the music of Ludwig van Beethoven. Now, the key to understanding the Romantic period really lies in looking at Beethoven, this great figure, this transitional composer. I certainly don't expect you guys to go back and read the first half of our book, but I did want to at least give you a brief overview of the historical eras in music before the classical period and just say a few words about them. The medieval period is where we usually begin the study of Western music, at least in music appreciation class, and it spans about 1,000 years, beginning with the fall of the Roman Empire in 476 AD. We use the nice round number 450 AD, or Common Era, spanning about 1,000 years to the middle of the 15th century. A lot of music that we listen to from the medieval era comes out of the church, not all of it, but a lot of it, the study of Gregorian chant and the developments of polyphony. A lot of this stuff is sung in Latin. The Renaissance was a pretty short period, 150 years, 1450 to 1600. The invention of the printing press allowed for the rapid spread of music throughout Europe, and the educated person or Renaissance man was expected to dance, play an instrument, and just be able to read. And so music was very, very important and very popular. And this led to a lot of composing of songs and just the spread of music. The composers from the Renaissance that you might know of would be Josquin des Prez, Palestrina, for example, among others. The Baroque period lasted about 150 years, and this was music that was by the, well, let me just give you a few famous names from the Baroque. This would include Vivaldi, J.S. Bach, and George Friedrich Handel, among others. The classical period, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about the meaning of this word, but as an historical era, it's actually a pretty short window of time, from 1750 to around 1820. And this would include the famous composers Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. And then after this, we go on into the Romantic era and then into the 20th century. I'd like for you to think about what the word classical means. What does it mean to you? A lot of the music that we're going to be listening to in this class is classical, but I guess I mean this in kind of a broad sense. So when you think of classical, maybe you were thinking of a composer like Mozart, which is a really good example. And some of you might even have thought about Johann Sebastian Bach, and I would say in a general sense, you're not wrong. Classical can mean different things. Basically, it can mean the type of music that refers to art music, music that's not jazz or hip-hop or country and western and so on, that it would refer to art music. It can also refer to anything that has lasting appeal. Like some of you might listen to the classic rock station and listen to a Led Zeppelin song. That's classic. Or you might look at a 1970 Mustang and consider that to be a classic. So it can also mean something that has lasting appeal. When we listen to some of the music in this class, it's a lot of it's done by composers that are no longer living, and that's because their music has withstood the test of time. So if you thought of like old associated with the word classical, you're probably not wrong, because in order for a piece to be considered a classic, it has to be outdated in a way. More specifically, the word classical, as you saw, refers to a specific time period, 1750 to 1820. If we look at classical to mean specific historical era, then the composer Johann Sebastian Bach, he's actually a Baroque composer. Okay, so I wouldn't say you're wrong to lump these great composers in and just say that they're classical composers. But if you want to be really specific, classical refers to, really the best examples would be Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven.